Hi there. Okay, I thought I'd make this video to show you what I'm doing because sometimes I found that, like I may be going through some kind of process and I'm missing a step or something, something's not turned on, something's not switched right, or I'm just being stupid. So I figured I'd do this first and run this by you and see what you thought. So we got two tapes here I'm going to try. I've got an Eric Clapton tape, which I know works. I've used it in another deck, and then the Steve Miller tape that you sent me. Here's the deck. It looks right to me. So all of these switches, if they're out, they're off. If they're in, they're on. So I'm just checking to make sure they're out. So that's out, that's out, that's out, that's out, that's out. That looks like it's momentary, but it's record mute anyway, so I don't imagine that would be an issue. The levels wouldn't make any difference. The tape selector types I wouldn't think would make any difference. But let's just put everything on off and defeat. So I got the power on. That looks fine. So I take my Eric Clapton tape. That's interesting. The light in the tape counter is flickering a little bit here when I put the tape in. And now it's off. Huh, interesting, must be a loose connection there. See, and if I tap it, sometimes it goes off. And okay, so anyway, back to the problem at hand. So I've had this off all night. This is the first time I'm trying it this morning, so it sat in the house all night, warmed up, and let's see what happens. So first of all, let's try play. Looks like it's still doing the same. Let's try rewind. Let's try fast forward. So just nothing. Now what I did last night was I found that if I hold up this button here, I am able to press play, and the deck will think there's a tape in there. But I think maybe you can tell if you look at the capstan here real closely. It's not turning now, and I don't know if this is one of those kind of tape decks that turns the capstan all the time or only when it's engaged. But even if I press play, it's not. Sorry for the shakiness of my hand here. Doesn't look like it's turning at all. I don't know if it's just the angle I'm at, but it actually looks like it's a little bit. Looks like it, maybe it was not engaging entirely with the pinch roller, but maybe I think that's just the angle. But it's definitely not turning, so something's going on. Sorry for the fuzziness here. What am I missing? Maybe there's something else that I should be doing or trying. Let me know. Pause isn't engaged. I mean, the buttons all seem to work. Just don't get any motion, which makes me think maybe the belt came off of the flywheel in there. So I think what I'll do, if it's okay with you, is I'll take the top off and I'll just have a look in there and see if something's happened. The box came in perfect shape. It was the best packing job I've ever seen. There were no dents, no punctures, no evidence that it had been dropped. Like none of the corners of the box were smashed or anything like that. I really think it came through with no serious impacts or anything like that. So I don't think it was the shipping, but who knows, right? I learned my lesson there too. You never know. So sorry to babble. I'm just trying to include anything I can think of. I guess let me try this other tape. So here's the Steve Miller tape, right? It's already rewound. Feels like it's in there all the way. I think I'm doing that right. Seated properly. I'm gonna hit play. The tape head comes up and engages just fine. Did you see it? It moves just ever so slightly. Maybe it's hard to tell. But the capstan is certainly not turning, and I think my guess is that's the major issue. This is probably just the trying to turn to pull up the slack, so maybe that, well, I was gonna say maybe that was working, but sorry, it's not turning even when it's tape's not in there, so I don't know. Okay, well, I'm gonna stop babbling now. I'll send this link to you and see if you have any thoughts. Let me know. And if it's okay with you, like I said, I'll pop the cover off and just see what's going on in there. Maybe a belt slipped off or something. Who knows?